following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WZWA Network and welcome to my review show here of NXT Deadline 2022 from the Performance Center there in Orlando, Florida on December 10th. 3 shows in one day took place. XPW, Ring of Honor, NXT. Couldn't get it all done in one day because some of us have a life, but I apologize for the NXT review being late in comparison to the other shows, but as far as I'm concerned, in comparison to them, it's not as important. And I've always been concerned about my interest level going into NXT shows. Sometimes, it surprises me and it ends up being good, but other times I'm like, man, I don't watch the show enough. And so much happens between events or big specials that NXT put on that, it's hard to be invested when the next time you see the show, a whole bunch of people are gone, a whole bunch of new people have arrived. And at least they have this revolutionary match, the Iron Survivor Challenge, which I hope pops me so much for being overcomplicated. So there are a lot of rules, and that made me laugh too. So let's just get straight into it here. Let's check out the first Iron Survivor Challenge for the number 1 contendership for the Women's Championship in NXT. Roxanne Perez, Zoe Stark, Cora Jade, Kiana, what's her surname? Kiana James, and Indy Hartwell. So I thought to myself, what's the go with Indy Nile? Haven't seen her in a while. End up finding out later on that she's in a tag team, getting involved with the tag titles. Booker T is a joy on commentary. It's good technical wrestling to start off the show here with Roxanne and Zoe Stark. Kiana James came out, and I was like, Kiana who? So many fresh faces show up every now and then. It's hard to keep up. I don't have time to watch the weekly show. But I must say, Kiana seemed very athletic. Wow, I thought. And I think she needs to work on her presentation, though, a bit more flashy, a look to match her flashy ability, maybe a different kind of hair color. I don't know. But, I think the presentation should match her ability. Stark hits a sweet finisher that I haven't seen before on Roxanne for a pinfall. And here comes sexy Cora Jade. Damn, she's hot. I'd want her to win, but she's a heel and Mandy needs another opponent to beat. So I know that she's not going to win. And I kind of thought Roxanne was going to win this from the outset. I appreciated the fact that Cora's butt was so hungry that it was trying to swallow her tights. You all liked it too. So, leave it out, mate. Leave it out. Oh, he's objectifying. No, she has a nice butt and she probably likes to know that people think she has a nice butt. That's it. If this whole match is choreographed, I have to say well done in making it look realistic. Cora, you need to work on your Indian deathlock. Here comes Australia's own Indy Hartwell. I'm surprised Persia Pirotta, aka Steph DeLander, is not back yet because I think she's awesome. And I'd say in this match, Stark impressed me more than ever since watching NXT. So in the end, I felt like this match wasn't actually too overcomplicated. A lot of people thought it was, but it was simple enough. I thought Kiana was, again, fantastic. There was a bit of a psychology problem in this match, though. Roxanne threw Cora out the ring when nobody else was in there. Your main goal is to get a pinfall attempt, and clearing the ring doesn't make sense, especially if you still haven't got a fall. So this is a mix of a scramble match, an Iron Man match, and a King of the Mountain match. And another thing I thought, all these hot athletes in one company, men and women, surely there's a lot of banging going on. Surely, come on. Why wouldn't you? Stark with a sick dive onto everyone. No one was waiting too long, so it did not insult my intelligence. Great suspense in the last 2.5 minutes. A great pop rocks on sexy Cora. Jade was in the box with not much time left. And I just felt like this was exciting, and maybe I should stop being a negative Nancy going into watching NXT specials. Cora in the penalty box for 90 seconds. And I reckon I'd only last 90 seconds in chorus box. Sorry, had to say it. There was 10 seconds left, and Roxanne ended up getting the win. Very nice work. It was interesting, an interesting match. And after the match, Booker T crying on commentary was pretty funny and hokey. And I'm glad the specials are finally going to be on the road because I'm kind of over the Performance Center now. Yes, I know that they needed to do it when they rebranded, but I think it's important to get that thing back on the road. We go to an interview, and I'm thinking, what the hell are you wearing, Mackenzie Mitchell? What was that outfit? It's like someone who bought a wedding dress, but they have a mental illness. Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley get interviewed, and I'm sorry, I know they got interrupted as usual. Fucking every backstage interview is interrupted. You know how I feel about that, but it feels like Ivy Nile, when she talks, it sounds like she'd memorized some words somebody else wrote. Let's move forward. Isla Dawn, who I'm seeing for the first time, taking on Alba Fyre, the former Karlifornia. She's from fucking Scotland. If anyone out there gets this reference, Isla Dawn, her face looks exactly like Cagney Lynn Carter. Google her, trust me. Alba probably needs this win after losing to Mandy, but to establish Isla, I've never seen her before, but I do like redheads. Isla, I think she had great aggression. It was a great dive to the outside by Alba. I like that Vic Joseph and Booker T take this stuff so seriously. I think they're a great team. So this was a good match, and I think this was much better than Mercedes Martinez versus Athena at Ring of Honor. Sorry, it's the truth. It felt like two men were wrestling, and that's a compliment. It's a compliment. It was snug, aggressive, realistic. Nothing came across fake. But what I did not like, what did come across fake, was the referee becoming possessed by Isla with black stuff coming out of his mouth and of his nose. If she could be able to do that all the time, then she should always be undefeated, because if she can do that all the time, then why doesn't she just possess Alba and get the easy pin? Why not? That's what I don't like about it. Why the referee? Why not just your opponent? Don't like it. Don't do it. It's stupid. But I did pop for Booker T being like, did you see the referee had black stuff coming out of his mouth? But yeah, it was a great match, and Isla got the victory, as was probably necessary to establish the new character. But Kaylee fucking Rare, aka Alba fucking Fyre, probably needs a fucking big win soon, yeah. Mackenzie backstage again interviewing the New Day, and I thought to myself, if they're taking on the tag champs Pretty Deadly, then I give the belts to the New Day, which we will get to in a minute. And this was good stuff. They were doing the NXT Tag Team Champions. And they got Mackenzie to do it, and I think she should have got way too into it and creeped the New Day out just for a bit of a laugh. But anyway, here we go. NXT Tag Titles, Pretty Deadly defending against the New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. I've made it clear for a while that I do not like the Pretty Deadly gimmick brother. It's good that they're putting main roster guys on the show. I think, honestly, the New Day winning these belts would be great, because how many times have they won the WWE tag titles on both shows? I mean, and we don't need to see them and the Usos ever again. I thought Kofi was hilarious with the twerking. The twerk off was great. And then when Kofi got to his knees and continued twerking, that was even better. I just think the New Day have been together too long, and Kofi should consider a heel turn. Xavier Woods got a great hot tag. He's very precise. He's tight. He's clean with his work. He's at his peak right now. Great spot with the title belts. Pretty Deadly brought the belts in the ring. They kept on throwing them to one another, and everyone kept on falling down, pretending that they'd been knocked out. The referee comes to. Nobody is actually hurt, and all four guys are on the fucking floor, like acting as if they've been knocked out. Great near fall with the title shot to the head of Woods, but yes, awesome. The New Day won, and I was happy to see them win, and I never thought I'd say that. So I've never really been a big fan. But still, that was really cool to see, because it was kind of unexpected. You thought, the NXT guys will retain. So there's a backstage thing here with Chance and Carter, I suppose. I think that's the names. The women's tag champions. Who walks around the building all night with their belts on their shoulders? That's what a mark would do. If this were real and you're walking around with your belt on your shoulder, you look like an absolute mark. At least I keep mine there. At least I keep mine there. Toxic Attraction interrupt them, and then a brawl breaks out with Ivy Nile and her tag partner, and whatever. Okay, coming next, the next Iron Survivor match. I mean, I was like, I don't mind, but I'd rather just one on the show and not one per gender. It just burns me out. It's the same with the War Games. One per show, please. Elimination Chamber, one per show. Money in the Bank, one per show. And it's okay if you do one Money in the Bank on one day and then the next day another one, for WrestleMania. Okay, that's fine. But to do two in the same show, it's too much for me, bro. Anyway, we've got JD McDonough, Axiom, Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, and Joe Gacy. Axiom, masked wrestlers aren't going to get over on the main roster. It's just a fact. Okay? Oh, but what about Rey Mysterio? Different kind of cat, bro. Different kind of cat. No one had seen anyone like him before. Plus, you can see his eyes in his mouth. You can still see his expressions. Axiom's whole face is covered up. So I just think everything is against that guy in the future, even though how talented he clearly is. And he nearly killed himself on a dive to the outside. I really felt Grayson Waller needed to win this. Carmelo came out third, and I really felt like Booker T was fired up on commentary tonight. Again, people go to the outside, and the dive is expected. You know what I'm talking about. People go to the outside, and then all of a sudden it's starting to clap straight away. The people get up. It's just like, man, we got to cut that shit out. This stuff is supposed to be via happenstance, not via, this is expected every time someone spills to the outside. Anyway, thank you, JD McDonough, for cutting Axiom off. Carmelo does a lot of stuff I dislike, like run away from people who are in the middle of the ring and springboard back at them. I just don't like it. But anyway, this was good. I like that Waller picked up 2 wins very quickly. Very good stuff. I liked Axiom's shit with JD McDonough inside of the penalty box. Very entertaining. Great visual of JD sliding down the window of the penalty box with his breath breathing out onto the window. Funny stuff. Loved Grayson Waller getting in Booker T's face and talking some smack to him. I do think Axiom is impressive, but I'm still just not sure on the gimmick. Joe Gacy came out next. Looks like he's in great shape and has changed his look, his outfit. Not sure if I prefer it, but it's okay. It's something different than before. Gacy gets a second fall. Axiom does a moonsault off the penalty box. Very specky, very specky. But I still, with NXT, I still think it's just so squeaky clean and predictable. But I will say this, Joe Gacy has improved. He has improved tenfold. And I really hope he goes to the main roster, and I hope he joins Bray Wyatt's group. Waller ends up getting the win. What a great ending to that match, with Waller running away and everyone desperately trying to get to him. And the only one that they could possibly pin is, unfortunately, Axiom, who's supposed to be in the penalty box. So I really like the way that they went about it. It was a realistic way to finish the match. And I think Waller might be the one to take the belt from Bron Breakker before he gets called up. Let's move forward. Drew Gulak has an interview. He's coming to NXT. I wrote, if somebody interrupts him, I'm going to scream. Of course I did. Because that's what every fucking company does, because it's this cookie cutter thing that we see all the fucking time where wrestling companies have an interview backstage and someone interrupts them 10 seconds into the interview. I'm over it. I want it to die. He should be on the roster, this bloke, instead of doing dick all. He's interrupted by Damon Kemp. I thought this was all boring, to be honest with you, because I felt like Damon Kemp and Drew Gulak, neither of them have a character. Neither of them have any attributes or anything personality-wise, personality traits that makes me think that this is what makes them unique compared to other people. Everyone just has a character that is just a person with a name. That's how I feel. And we get into our main event of the evening, and I'm sorry that this review is so quick, but there's not that many matches on this show, and this is my third review in 2 days. I've had enough. I did enjoy this show, though, and I was disappointed that there was no Mandy Rose title defense. Damn it. But this build-up for the main event was great, great package. Apollo is in this match against Bron Breakker, and I'm like, nothing against his ability, but I find his character boring. He's always been potato soup to me. I'm sure it'll be a good match, but he's so boring as a character. If he loses, where does he go from here in NXT? Where does Apollo go from here? He's reached the pinnacle. He gets the title shot. He doesn't win. Now what do you do with him? So anyway, great stalemate to begin with. Not many more notes, to be honest with you. I'm sorry that this is a quick one. This is, quick fire, this review, but, I've done my best. I've written a lot of notes, and I'm just talking quicker than usual, I think. No fucking around. Anyway, if Breakker's run is stopped by Apollo Crews, though, I mean, come on, please. Breakker did a great dive to the outside over the top rope plancher, and he got higher over that top rope than usual. So, I think, keep doing that. Keep doing that in big match situations. I did like the moment. This was the first time that I felt Apollo Crews as a character was interesting since he was doing the African gimmick with the, accent and all that, with the eyes. He snapped a little bit. So that made him interesting. And I love Booker T being like, I don't know this guy, but I like him. I like him a lot. A frog splash from Apollo. He is a great wrestler. I was so excited when I saw that there was 6 minutes left in the show. Breakker made his great comeback, but Bron, bro, be careful with those shoulder blocks in your comeback, okay? Because it was very John Cena, and that can piss people off. Trust me. It's like muscle memory. Seeing that shit used to piss me off so much. And I love John Cena now. It's only in this day and age that I realize how actually good he was. Great DDT reversal from Apollo Crews from that gorilla press. That was ferocious. And then Crews hit Bron's finisher on him. But soon after, spear from Bron Breakker. He gets the win. It's just a shame that now the spear is probably going to be in his repertoire. And we have another fucking wrestler using the spear. We have Lashley, we have Reigns, we have Edge, now we have Bron. Thank God Rhino's not in the company. But yeah, this was a good show. This was a good show. And after the match, Grayson Waller lays out Bron Breakker. Let's end the show with a bit of heat, my friend. A little bit of heat. As far as my final thoughts on this show, and I know, again, this has been a whirlwind, quick review, but I've had enough. But I have to say, what can NXT improve on? I just think it needs to be less squeaky clean. I think scenarios need to come across more realistic. I think they utilize this very tired way of doing things backstage with the interviews, with the interruptions of the interviews, with people walking around holding title belts for no fucking reason. They're in their gear and they're not even wrestling on the show. Why can't people wear street clothes? Come on. How hard is that? Just have them in some tight jeans and maybe some shirts that have their name on it or whatever. Promote the merchandise. But man, it's the same stuff over and over again. It's very, very cookie cutter. It's very, very squeaky clean, overproduced. It needs to be a little bit more raw and gritty and realistic. That's what I want from a wrestling company. So anyway, I'll give this show a 7 out of 10. I liked it more than Ring of Honor, but I didn't like it as much as I liked XPW this weekend. So there we have it, everyone. My review show here of NXT Deadline 2022. I'm your host, Karlifornia. Check out our shirts, biatch, from ProWrestlingTees.com, from our merchandise store, Thunder Mifflin, under the WZWA Network. Please find us on all platforms. And also, I really would like someone to do this. If you go to www.rizon.net, RIZON, and you log in with you make a username, all right, and you try and join a chat room, hashtag pro wrestling. Join there, tell someone, hey, I've joined here because Karlifornia from the WZWA Network sent me. I'm a moderator in this chat room. Great bunch of people to talk to about wrestling, not just WWE and AEW, but a whole plethora of different companies. It is definitely a fun little community that we have there. So there we have it, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me for this quick fire whirlwind review of NXT Deadline 2022. I'm Karlifornia. This is the WZWA Network where the shit's fucking hurt. And we will see you down the road. Thank you.
Network, that's the way we play. Good God Almighty. Network, that's the way we play. Get puppies. Network, that's the way we play. Get.
The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.